Hello, welcome to the full frame with Mark and Ben. I'm Mark. Here's a picture of Ben, and this is the full frame with Mark and Ben. So Ben's not really in this one because this video is all about my trip to Cornwall on film over New Year's. So I shot loads of different film on the trip to Cornwall, some expired, some not expired, some on 120, some on 35mm. It's basically, we're going to go through the trip and I'm going to talk about my photos, basically. So it started when I was walking to Penryn in the morning. I walked down at sunrise. I walked from near Truro to Penryn in the dark. Didn't get killed, which is always a bonus. But wanted to get the sunrise here, which is looking alright at the moment. This might be the best we're going to get. Loaded in some Kwik Photo 200. I bought 2 rolls of this on eBay just before Christmas because it was quite cheap. It was expired. I quite like shooting expired film at the moment, so I thought, I wonder what it'd look like. It expired in 2002, and as it was 200 ISO, I shot it at 50 ISO. And in terms of the photos coming back, it looks pretty pink, and this was sort of, as you'll see, the same across the board. It looked expired, but it's not totally gone. So it'd be interesting to see what this looked like new. I don't think it would look amazingly different. It's fine, like I would shoot it again. I've got to shoot it again. I've got another roll of it. We went to St Michael's Mount. I know Ben went to Mont Saint Michel in Normandy in 2024, so I was aware of St Michael's Mount, and it's basically what they call a tidal island, so it's only accessible on foot during low tide. So when the tide goes out, there's a little path that reveals itself and you can walk across. We got on there about 11 AM and we knew we had to leave by 2 because the tide was coming back in. So between like 10:30 and 2 that day, you could get on and off the island by foot. I'd say the best photos I took of this were outside looking in, so looking at the castle. Once you're on the island, you can't really see the castle. The castle's only open a couple of days of the year as well. And there's not a lot to do there apart from like there's a few shops and stuff like that. But it's worth a visit. It's quite a cool place to go. Then we went down to Land's End. This is the most southerly point of mainland England. Having been here before, I didn't take many photos on film. There's not really a lot to photograph. A lot of it was shut down as well. There's various experiences. There's a Wallace and Gromit experience at Land's End. Because this was like 2 days before New Year's Eve, there wasn't a lot to do. It was the only place open was like a bar, and that was about it. The next day we went to Truvenant's Cove. There's loads of like these little beaches all around Cornwall. There were people surfing, people swimming in the sea, and considering it was New Year's Eve, it was absolutely freezing, so well done to you if you were swimming in the sea that day. It was very cold. I shot on my Rolleicord using HP5. I'm becoming a huge fan of shooting landscapes on black and white. Also, because I finished the Kwik Photo the day before, I used some unexpired Agfa 400 that I got in Winchester just before we left. And there's something I hadn't shot before, so I was quite excited to shoot it. I quite like the colours of the Agfa, although they are a bit hit and miss. So as you'll see, I'm not sure if this is scanning or the film itself. So sometimes it leans into quite bluey green, and then sometimes it's much warmer as well. So I'm not sure if that's the scanning or just the film. Nearby there was quite a lot of abandoned tin mines, but again I didn't really fancy walking along like the top of the coast with my 5-year-old son, knowing there's a steep cliff. So I went early the next morning with my mother-in-law actually, and we walked along the cliffs like taking photos of the tin mines. I did shoot some expired Vericone pan from 1967, but it got jammed in my Rollie and I had a bit of a problem getting it out. And none of these photos came out, so you'll never get to see these. But I did shoot some Agfa 400, and the light was pretty good because it was quite early in the morning. We went out before sunrise, so we just sort of got it as the sun was coming up over the hills. I did bring my digital camera with me as well. I think I'd recommend bringing a digital camera on a trip like this, especially because I pretty much only shoot film. But going on a trip, if I'm only shooting film, it can get very expensive. But if you're shooting a digital camera, it helps you take photos of stuff and then think, oh, that's actually a pretty good photo, I'll take that on film because I know that'll be good. And it helps you not take photos of absolutely everything on film because you've got the digital option. You know, oh, this won't cost me, I just have to edit the photos. On our last day we went to the Eden project. I found a camera shop in Falmouth and bought some Kodak Gold on 120, which I always recommend. It's always like a great thing to shoot on 120. I quite like it on 35, but on 120 I think it works best on a summer's day, but throughout the year as well it works really well as well. I had really low expectations of the Eden project as well. I'm really not interested in plants or anything like that, but it kind of exceeded my expectations massively. There was a lot more to do there than I thought there would be. I thought it'd be like, look at that plant, oh that's a nice tree, but it wasn't. There's a lot more going on. As it got dark, there was like a light show that went over Christmas in both of the domes. I couldn't go around shooting my Rollie handheld. I didn't bring a tripod with me on that day either. I didn't really want to. If I'm carrying a 5-year-old around most of the day, it's quite hard to bring a tripod as well. So on the digital camera, I don't like showing digital photos because this is a film photography channel, but I did shoot some ones I quite like. But I did manage to balance my Rollie on the ledge of a viewing platform as we left, and I managed to get 2 shots in the dark on my roller. So that's it, that's my trip to Cornwall on film. I'm glad I took a lot of film with me. I didn't take as much as I usually would. I took a lot more film when I went to Italy for a bit less time, but I think it's worthwhile bringing a digital camera along as well on trips like this where you're not just... So I didn't get carried away just shooting all the film. I did shoot all the film I took with me, but I know if I'd taken more, I would have shot all of it. So it was worthwhile taking a digital camera just to sort of realise don't have to shoot film for everything. That was quite nice to do. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment if you're able. If you've got anything you want us to talk about in future episodes, let us know. And I'll see you next time for more sexy and exciting adventures on film. Goodbye.